Hello, everyone. My name is Harini Krishnan, and I go to Folsom High School. Welcome to Know Your Charity, a talk show series that I'm honored to be hosting this year. The intent of this series is to bring on representatives and leaders of different nonprofit and charitable organizations in the Greater Sacramento Area to come and talk to us about the great humanitarian work that they do in the community. I hope that through this series, we get to hear about what these organizations do and get inspired to help out in the community. Today, I have with me Jennifer Array, who is the executive director and founder of the Petal Connection. As a way of teaching her children to give back to their communities, and after her beloved grandmother entered hospice, Jennifer launched a Northern California flower repurposing organization in October 2013. In July 2015, she and her amazing volunteers founded the Petal Connection as an independent nonprofit organization. Jennifer started her career as an elementary school teacher and has spent the last decade giving back to her community through her volunteer work, church leadership, and fundraising for the local K-12 schools nonprofit foundation board. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for coming and talking to me today. I'm really, really excited to hear what you have to say.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. So what is the Petal Connection?
So the Petal Connection is a group of fabulous people that our main mission is to spread kindness, love, and joy to those in end-of-life care. So it's either in hospice care or maybe in senior living facilities. But we do this by taking flowers that were meant for the dumpster. So local grocers like Raley's, Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, Nugget, they, instead of throwing their flowers away, we have volunteers that go by and pick up their donations. It's kind of like if you would donate food to a food bank. They donate flowers to us, and we bring them back to our shop, which is in Roseville, and we sort through them and figure out what's still good. So if you've ever seen like a mixed flower bouquet at the grocery store, there's lots of different flowers and they all have different lifespans. So we kind of sort out what's good. We throw away what is not good, but it's amazing the quality we get. And we make small bedside bouquets, and our main focus is hospice. So we put them in cute little cans and we pack them up each week, and we gift them to the hospice providers. And then the hospice agency, they have volunteers, chaplains, nurses, they take them to their patients. So that's how we get them to them in a safe way. So.
Okay, that's so cool. Mm-hmm. And do you work with any like specific hospice agencies or just whoever is in need?
Well, that's a good question. We do. So we started, like you said earlier, my grandmother went through hospice in 2012, and I was with her, and that's where I kind of figured out, like, those days you just need something to talk about, and it's kind of dark and you don't know what to do, and you want to bring something beautiful in. And that's when I started bringing her in flowers. So at that time, her hospice agency was Bristol Hospice. So when I started this a year later, they were our first ones that we delivered to. So we were only giving to Bristol, but then we got more flowers and more volunteers. We were in my garage, how we started. And then, so we kind of added one more and one more. Mm-hmm. And now we give to 14 different hospice agencies. So they, they love it because it's a way to show their patients that, that they are compassionate and love them. And it does the same thing that it did for me and my grandmother. It builds a camaraderie between the patient and the caregiver. It's it's a sad time. So if you can do anything to bring in some beauty and joy, it makes a difference. So they of course love it. So they actually come into the shop and pick them up. When we first started, we were delivering them to them, but now, of course they want them because it makes their job, I wouldn't say easier, but it's a little bright spot in their job too. I mean, to be a hospice nurse or a volunteer, is obviously, you're an angel on earth, because that is end of life care. And so they have a special heart. And so they like to do something special for their patients also. So yeah, we donate about 1,000 bouquets a month right now. So I know we've gotten great volunteers, and it's just word of mouth, just opportunities like this, talking with you. Hopefully we get other people. The more flowers we have, the more we can spread joy. So
Wow, that is so amazing.
thanks.
And do you like make like flower bouquets? Is that how you would like distribute them or gift them?
Right. So, gosh, like I said, we've been doing this now. We're into our 9th year, almost be 9 years. And we've tried lots of different vessels, like how do we do it and how do we deliver them? And at the beginning, we were doing all glass vases. And I was always doing vase drives and running to the Goodwill or the Dollar Tree. And then people were like, how about mugs? And we tried mugs and teacups and little containers. And then we got down to, the nurses like that. The glass was kind of hard. It could break. It's not always safe, sometimes bulky, because we really want them to be bedside. It's not this big bouquet that is across the room. It's a small, sweet bedside bouquet. And we started putting them in small cans, like a vegetable can, canned food. So what we do is we clean them out and we cover them with burlap. And so it's almost like a blank palette, but it's a super, like a little size like this. And it fits, the nurses like it because it fits in their cup holder, because they have so many other things they need to bring with them when they go visit their patients. There's all sorts of equipment and paperwork and different things. So to be able to fit in the cup holder, that small can has just worked out to be the perfect size. So the last couple of years, we've been really just focusing on that. And it's really economical. And it's good because we're recycling. We are reusing things just like we're recycling the flowers and everything else. So that's great. And but we do cover them with a piece of burlap that's the perfect size. So it doesn't really look like a can. And we put ribbon around them. I mean, really, they're sweet little bouquets. And I wouldn't even say little. I mean, it's pretty amazing what we can get in that can. So.
Wow, it just sounds so amazing. I want to see them in person now.
You can
They
always
sound
come
so
over.
beautiful.
It's during school. We're open only Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays in the morning. But those are the best times for the nurses, to get them out to their patients when they have meetings and things. So we specifically are open on those days. Like the end of the week and stuff, they're already kind of done with their meetings and they're out in the field. So that's where we focus on the beginning of the week. And we also focus on the beginning of the week because really pre-COVID, where we got a lot of our flowers were from weddings and events. So we would pick them up like Saturday night and then, we take them all apart. And by Monday, they were in, already Monday afternoon going out the door. So that's why we choose those days. And we are, during the day.
Yeah, that is
in the
so
summer. Come see us. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. And so you mentioned that like the nurses like to come and like pick up the flowers. What does your organization like run?
Yeah. So like I said, we started in my garage, which was crazy. But we are in a little storefront in Roseville in the CVS Center at the corner of Sierra College and Roseville Parkway. So we've been there for 6 years, which is awesome. It's just a cute little shop. We had Bayside Church built us the tables. A lot of stuff is donated, which is really nice. And like I said, so we're only open those 3 days out of the week, though. So when people want to donate cans or different things, it's always best to call first to make sure. But we're there usually until about 1 Monday through Wednesday, but otherwise we can make arrangements to meet someone or pick them up at a different time. So
Okay, yeah. And you mentioned that like you only use like recycled flowers. Has it ever happened where you aren't able to find or like aren't able to have any like recycled flowers from these grocers that you get them from?
yes, that's a great question. Yes, to be honest with you, through these last couple of years, we've kind of had to reorganize and figure out how are we going to stay open, because our volunteers wanted to stay open, but we have to have less people in the shop now.
Yeah.
And so we do purchase some greenery at the beginning of the week. We don't purchase flowers, but we purchase, so with the leaves and everything, it helps, we can get more bouquets in the can. So we put like 3 different kinds of leaves. And then it doesn't take as many flowers. So we have found we're able to keep up, and they're actually prettier to us. Someone once said to me, it's God's natural frame. You can do a whole bunch of flowers, and yes, they're pretty, but when you put them against the backdrop of the dark green, it really makes the colors pop.
Totally, yeah.
But also this past year, we have been like, florists have shut down. Like I said, no more weddings. So this past year, we're like, what are we going to do? And you know what? We started growing our own flowers. So we started that last year. The city of Roseville gave us a grant. We and Sacramento Rotary, so we had some people support us so we could start growing our own flowers. We put it out to local growers, and we called it Grow a Row. And what the original thought was, local growers, if they could just take a row and dedicate it to us. So instead of, because they sell the others, or just part of it, if you could dedicate some of your flowers to us each week, we would appreciate it. So we had some growers said, yes, I'll grow for you, which is amazing. So many good people in the world. Mm-hmm. And then we had a contact at Orangeville Food Bank. He's like, hey, I will give you 3 or 4 rows right at the Orangeville Food Bank. Do you want to grow your own flowers? We thought, yes. And then there was someone else at Hart's Landing Ranch, which is a equine therapy with horses right here in Granite Bay. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I have lots of property and some big flower beds. You're welcome to grow in there, because they're concentrating on the horses. Mm-hmm. And so we started growing there also. So that was amazing. I mean, summer we had fantastic flowers because they weren't expired. They were brand new, straight out of the earth. And we were able to harvest them, and we exploded during the summer. We put out so many more bouquets than usual. So it's a great idea, and we're going to continue. So we're already planted this year. Mm-hmm. We have bulbs went in late fall so we should have daffodils and things popping up here soon in the spring. And then summer will be busy again with zinnias and sunflowers and all sorts of great flowers that grow in this heat, the Sacramento heat. So it's exciting. Yeah.
Wow, that is so great. You made a bad situation good. I love that. It was so good.
Yeah, the pivot. Exactly.
For sure. And from like an organization standpoint, do you have employees or is it more volunteers?
It's we don't have employees now. We're in volunteer run. We do contract a few people to help in certain aspects with the more business part of it, the part I never expected starting. But no, we're all volunteer run, which is pretty amazing. And they are very, very dedicated for sure. Yeah, very dedicated. Same groups. It's funny, there's a Monday group where they're all tight, and a Tuesday group and a Wednesday group. And we're hoping during the summer, if the flowers pour in like we'd like, open up even an extra day in the summer. So yeah.
That's great. Yeah.
The people keep coming.
Yeah, for sure. And how are you getting like funds to run like the organization?
Yeah, that's a good question too. Yeah, because everyone's like, oh, it's a nonprofit and everything's donated, so everything's free. And not really. We have to pay for our insurance and our printing and our electricity. And, we put a little pick in there that puts a little card that says who we are. There's all sorts of things. We buy the burlap that covers the cans, printing, all sorts of things. And we either write grants, which is sometimes difficult for what we do because most grants are very specific to certain things, homeless, hunger, cancer, and they're all very, very worthy causes. There's not a lot of grant writing or fundraising for like seniors in general, so we kind of fit under mental health. Like we try to help mental health, that they have a positive experience. But in general, it's kind of hard. So we really reach out to different corporations to help us. A lot of people can support us, just like sponsor some things, which are awesome. And there's a lot of great companies in our community that do. And then just private donors. Really, we do fundraising 2 or 3 times a year, either send out a note or a flyer. We do Big Day of Giving, which is a great time in Sacramento. All the nonprofits join on one day. It's May 5th. That's usually pretty good for us. But really, it's just word of mouth. I mean, some amazing people just say, I value what you do, and and they'll write us a check. So it's kind of just simple, but it's kept us in business. And so I'm so grateful that people embrace our mission and give to it, because it is important, especially these days. And I know you're a young person and young people might be watching this, but whether you went to see, if you did have a older family member, that they were telling you couldn't go see them. I mean, you imagine the sadness and the loneliness, and it's really pushed us to keep going, and how important that they are in our lives, and for them to know that they matter in this world. So we have no plans on slowing down.
I love everything that you stand for. Yeah. And so how can the general public help, and in particular, like students?
Students, well, you can always collect cans. We always, it's funny, the empty cans, people, you're making soup or spaghetti or whatever you're doing. And we always need clean cans, because we figure 1,000 go out every month. So we need 1,000 cans a month, which is pretty, but people are great about that. We love collecting ribbon. We put ribbons around the bouquets that match, cloth ribbon. And people have done ribbon drives for us. See, how can students help? I'm thinking summer, because summer's coming up, which we really need, which I thought, because we do have a really great volunteer base. We're not in need of volunteers right now, because we have so many and they keep coming back, thank goodness. But what we always need help with would be the harvesting of flowers. So gosh, I would love to have some teams like in the summer. Like I said, one is right off Greenback, Orangeville Food Bank, just cutting the flowers, tending the fields. That's where we see that we're going to need help this, coming up summer and spring, because we planted more flowers this year than last year. So we're super excited, but that's where we really are foreseeing that we're going to have a need this year. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. I'm pretty sure there's so many people who would want to help such an amazing cause. So yeah. And now that we're slowly coming out of the pandemic, what are some of your challenges that you've had throughout the pandemic?
Challenges? I don't know. It's
well, that's great.
It's not good. Really, when they told us, so that was that March of 2020, we closed down. And actually, we were having our very first fundraiser. We had never had even planned a fundraiser. And of course, it was March 13th, and the world shut down right then. So our first fundraiser went kaput. And I was afraid, but by June, they're like, you can reopen. I was like, we can. And my fear was that people weren't going to come back. And people did, I think. So we, in a way, we became a little bit better in that we got more organized in a way. That was back when everyone was afraid of touching things. But we actually kind of oddly got better through it, because we got more, like I said, we had the greens. We knew we made up some different jobs to make us more efficient. And oddly, we became better, and the need became more. We actually kind of grew through it, because we had more hospice partners wanting it, and then us doing growing our own flowers, we were able to grow. We figured it out. But Yeah, the hardest thing for us, and people would think it would be the easiest, it is to get flowers. Like in
For sure.
it's just they're not, it really has hit florists, and they're just not getting the product in, or they're very expensive, or they're not ordering as more. They're not, flowers aren't even being grown as much as they were a couple of years in the past, because there's no one even to pick them. So it would say the flowers, but somehow we've gotten very lucky and worked hard to make it work. So
Yeah, that's
yeah.
excellent. I love to hear that. And
Thank you.
as for you, like, how did you, when you founded Petal Connection, how did you choose flower? What made you come to that decision?
Right. You know, a lot of things, but I'm in one. So number one, my mom was a florist. So flowers don't scare me, but by no means am I a florist, which is, I used to help her, but not, you know, it's art for sure. It's a
For
gift.
sure, yeah.
But it was really when my son, so my older son, I was a stay-at-home mom, like I said, and he was getting ready to go to college, and I was literally in a parking lot with a friend of mine. I said, what am I going to do with myself? Because I was always a teacher and I didn't really intend on going back to teaching. And she goes, you know, she said, you know, there's something in Oregon that is called the Bloom Project. And what they do is exactly what we do. And she goes, you should go meet them. And so by no means did I make this up at all. There's people that do what we do all over the world. Actually, there's a group in London that does it right in the Flower Mart, and they're called Floral Angels. And there's in San Diego and San Francisco and Texas. They're really all over the world in the country doing the same thing we do. So we started out then, I ended up going to Oregon and meeting the founder of the Bloom Project, because my sister lived not far from her. And like you said in my bio, we were the Bloom Project for about the first year and a half. But then it came to fundraising for us. We had gotten to a new shop and we couldn't fundraise. They said, you're an Oregon nonprofit. And I said, well, no, we're right here. You know, you can see us. We're in California. I said, no, you know, when you get down to the nitty gritty, the tax ID and all of that good stuff, we were an Oregon nonprofit. So that's how we became the Petal Connection then. So when I say 8 years, that's Bloom and Petal together.
Yeah.
But it was just kind of things being presented to me. Like I said, my grandmother went through hospice, and my son leaving, and my mom's knowledge of flowers, and everything just kind of lined up. And that's how things work in life, you know, I think. And like I said, I try to teach my children to do good things for others, and that's important for me. Yeah. So it just kind of stacked up at that time in my life. And, you know, I listened to my heart and I gave it a shot. And like I said, surround yourself with good people and good things can happen too. I tell my boys that too. They don't like listening to me.
I love that.
Good things can happen. We had a lot of challenges. Not all of it was rosy. There were some times I thought, what in the world am I doing? You know, I could have went and got a real job. So, but yeah, because I feel like it is a 7-day a week job for me. But I feel blessed from it, just from the people that come into my life through it. And I've learned a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot of work. But if you have the heart, like I said, and the right people, good things will happen. So
for sure. I definitely believe in that also. And I truly, everything that you're doing is so important. Me personally, I've never had to experience that, but I'm pretty sure it makes a big difference in all of these patients' lives. So I thank you so much for everything that you do, and I think it's so amazing.
Thank you very, very much. Well, thanks for the opportunity to share. Always good things happen when we share our mission. Anybody hears about us, everyone has ideas and thoughts, and we love it. So thank you very, very much.
Yeah, of course. And for our viewers, do you want to share maybe where you're located or anywhere that they can find more information?
Yeah, so we have a great website. It's just thepetalconnection.org. And and we're also on, of course, Facebook and Instagram. So you can learn more about us. You can, like you were saying, you want to see the flowers. We try to post a lot because it's a fun, happy thing to do. But also, yeah, we are on the corner, like I said, of Sierra College and Roseville Parkway, right in Roseville in the CVS Center.
Okay.
And we don't have a sign because we're just kind of tucked in there, but it's on our door, it's on our door. But we're open Monday through Wednesdays in the morning. And but yeah, you can always find out. Sometimes we have little fun events and things. They've kind of cut back. We would love to bring them back. We used to do like design nights in the evenings and different fun things. And we're hoping at some point they'll come back. So we get more people in the shop. So
Yeah, I'm sure that will all come back soon enough, hopefully.
no, we're all ready, aren't we?
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Once again, thank you so, so much for coming. I really, really enjoyed talking to you, and I learned so much about your organization. And I definitely will be helping you at some point over the summer.
Summer. When does school get out?
May? May, yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Right when the flowers are popping. Sounds good.
Of course. Yeah. And I hope all of our viewers enjoyed. I hope you got inspired to help out in the community or with Petal Connection. And I would love to hear your comments and feedback. You can email me at knowyourcharity5@gmail.com if you have any suggestions. And I will see you all next time. Thank you so much.